Hello, welcome back to Chapter Day. Happy Sunday, first day of a new week. Here we go again. And I pray it's going to be an awesome week. Today we'll be reading 1chronicles chapter 19. Let's see. Yesterday we read about David's, let's see. David dedicating, conquering rather, certain of his enemies, the Moabites, the Syrians. He of course went to God before he went on the Ammonites, Philistines, Amalekites, all of those. He asked God first, and then God gave him instructions as to what he should do the first time, the second time, and how much spoil he recovered from those enemies. Thousands and tens of thousands of horses and chariots, and how he dedicated the gold and the silver to God. Always. It just showed that David's relationship with God was just encompassing. Everything he did, he put God first. Yeah, he made errors, but in his effort, he tried to serve God. Always include God in his life. And that's us today. We are humans, and that's not an excuse for sinning. We try our best to live God's way, and we put God in everything we do, as much in everything. Not try, we put God in everything. So let's see what chapter 19 has for us today. Now it came to pass after this that Nahash, the king of the children of Ammon, died, and his son reigned in his stead. And David said, I will show kindness unto Hanun, the son of Nahash, because his father showed kindness unto me. And David sent messengers to comfort him concerning his father. So the servants of David came unto the land of the children of Ammon to Hanun to comfort him. But the princes of the children of Ammon said to Hanun, Thinkest thou that David doth honor thy father, that he hath sent comforters unto thee? Are not his servants come unto thee for to search, and to overthrow, and to spy out the land? Wherefore Hanun took David's servants, and shaved them, and cut off their garments in the midst hard by their buttocks, and sent them away. Then there went certain, and told David how the men were served, and he sent to meet them, for the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, Tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. So we read this before in Kings, and this was an account of where one of the men, the king that had helped David at the time he was running from Saul, he died, and David, showing gratitude, wanting to show gratitude, sent condolences to his son concerning the father. And the son's advisors told him, don't trust David. He didn't really send anybody here to for condolences. He sent a spy. So but his not wise self decided to mistreat the men, and he shamed them by cutting off their garments and sent them back to David. And David's not going to take that, right? Okay, verse 6. And when the children of Ammon saw that they had made themselves odious to David, Hanun and the children of Ammon sent 1,000 talents of silver to hire them chariots and horsemen out of Mesopotamia, and out of Syria, Makkah, and out of Zobah. So after he made the stupid decision to dishonor David's men for no good reason, he now is looking for backup. So he's sending like incentive money, to all of these different places so that they could come out and help him, because David is coming after him. Verse 7. So they hired 32,000 chariots, and the king of Makkah and his people, who came and pitched before Medeba. And the children of Ammon gathered themselves together from other cities and came to battle. And when David heard of it, he sent Joab and all the host of the mighty men. And the children of Ammon came out and put the battle in array before the gate of the city, and the kings that were come were by themselves in the field. Now when Joab saw that the battle was set against him before and behind, He chose out of all the choice of Israel and put them in array against the Syrians. And the rest of the people he delivered unto the hand of Abishai his brother, and they set themselves in array against the children of Ammon. So I'm going to say this strategy. Sometimes a war is not won by who is the greatest, fighter. Sometimes it's just simple strategy. And Joab was one of those people. I think he was Israelite, and I always thought he was a very honorable captain, honestly. Till the end, and I saw some deceit in him, but I thought he was always very honorable and a good captain, and he was a good captain. But there's always a weakness in us somewhere, or we fall short somewhere, sometime. Okay, so he sets up the battle. He saw that, they are closing in behind them and there are people in front of them. So he sets up his soldiers between he and his brother, Abishai. Verse 12. And he said, if the Syrians be too strong for me, then thou shalt help me. But if the children of Ammon be too strong for thee, then I will help thee. Be of good courage, and let us behave ourselves valiantly for our people and for the cities of our God. Yes, he was an Israelite. And let the Lord do that which is good in his sight. You see, when you go to fight and we are fighting battles every day. When we go to fight, we wake up in the morning and we need to have our armor on. The devil isn't waiting for us to wake up sometimes. Sometimes before you even get out of your bed, you have stuff to deal with. The devil is not waiting for you. You have to be prepared. Those soldiers didn't take off their uniforms, their armor. They didn't take it off because, they wanted to rest at night. They had to be sleeping with it. We have to put on our armor daily. It cannot be too far away from us because the devil is always waiting to attack us. So that was his strategy. You have to go with God. If you're a child of God, who else you going to be going with anyway? Okay. Verse 14. So Joab and the people that were with him drew nigh before the Syrians unto the battle, and they fled before him. And when the children of Ammon saw that the Syrians were fled, they likewise fled before Abishai his brother, and entered into the city. Then Joab came to Jerusalem. So, of course, with God on their side, the children of Syria realized, you know what? This is not going to happen. We are going to lose. So they ran away from them. Okay. Verse 16. And when the Syrians saw that they were put to the worst before Israel, they sent messengers and drew forth the Syrians that were beyond the river, and Shobhak, the captain of the host of Hadarezer, went before them. And it was told David, and he gathered all Israel and passed over Jordan and came upon them and set the battle in array against them. So when David had put the battle in array against the Syrians, they fought with him. But the Syrians fled before Israel, and David slew of the Syrians 7,000 men, which fought in chariots, and 40,000 footmen, and killed the Shobhak, the captain of the host. And when the servants of Hadarezer saw that they were put to the worst before Israel, they made peace with David and became his servants. Neither would the Syrians help the children of Ammon anymore. You need to know who you're picking fights with. That's what he did. Hanan went, he picked a fight. He picked a fight, yeah. The Ammonites, he didn't need to do that. If he was wise enough, he should have known that David and his father were close friends. But when you don't have trust in people, you're always thinking that everybody's out to get you. Okay? And sometimes, some people just aren't very wise up here. So he listened to these foolish men, attacked David's men. David came out to fight him. He went and tried to get all these other nations to fight along with them, the Syrians and whoever else he could find. And David put all of them, Joab, his captain, and Abishai, the brother. They were amazing fighters. These men were not, like I always say, you wanted to see a battle, those were battles, because they were just going with their bodies. Maybe some of them, these other nations had chariots and horses and all that stuff. They just went as men. okay, with God. They didn't just go as men. They went with men. They went as men of God. That's the difference. They went as men of God to attack their enemies who were coming against them. And that's how we have to go as people of God. You can't get out there and try to, and you know, sometimes I tell you, Satan gets you where he knows you might respond more, how should I say, you're easier to get pulled in. You know, sometimes somebody's saying something at you, saying something, and you just get so angry or so agitated, you just respond to whatever they're saying. That's what Satan likes. When you keep quiet, he gets even more angry because he realizes he cannot get you in that area that he wants to. It's all, I always admire Jesus. Jesus was going through so much before his crucifixion, and he opened not his mouth. I think he must have told who it was, Pilate, whoever, you don't have any power over me. I think that was about the most I heard him say. And I think somebody else say, are you king of the Jews? You have said it. Yeah, he had very few words, if little to nothing, to say to these people, because in his heart and mind there was nothing he could say that would make a difference. And there are sometimes we have to know there's nothing you can say to Satan that would make a difference. All he wants to do is agitate you and get you to sin, so he could point a finger at the end and say, she did that, he did that. So we are supposed to be smarter than the devil. We are God's children. We are supposed to be wiser than the devil and this world. We can be. That's the end of our reading for 1 Chronicles chapter 19. So, until our next reading, keep on listening, because faith comes when we hear God's word. So take care. Bye.